Great Wednesday morning to each of you, my beautiful and wonderful people. Listen, I just wanted to come on and encourage many of you. You won't ever have to pretend anymore. So, as I'm doing my workout routine this morning, I looked up at the TV and noticed that Living Single was on. And if you know Living Single, okay, then you know that Regine is basically the type of girl, she's bougie, okay? She kind of pretends to be something that she's not, when in all actuality, she from the projects, okay? And they used to call her Nene, okay? And I believe in one episode, her mother called her Regina. So basically, Regine is a name that she made up on her own. And throughout all of the seasons of Living Single, Regine continued her quest. I need y'all to listen to me on trying to find a wealthy, cute husband. And as we know, every guy she went out with, they had a little bit of money, but it never worked out. But Regine had her heart set on, this is the type of man I want, and I will not settle for anything more, okay? And so, of course, Max and, Khadijah would tease her about it, but she stood on her word, okay? So the episode I was watching today was basically she was invited to do a dinner party for some guy, which is played by Blair Underwood. He's kind of like, I guess, a big deal. Okay, so she was excited, but last time she knew this guy, he was a big dude. He was a few 100 pounds or whatever, because her and Khadijah kind of made a joke about it. It wasn't her intent to impress him as far as getting to know him, because he's a big dude that's not her type. However, she wanted to impress him for this dinner party that she was doing, okay? When she met up with him, they had a scheduled meeting to kind of get a feel of what it was he wanted. He had lost all that weight. Okay, so now she's looking at this dude like, wait a minute, this ain't the same guy I'm used to. This wasn't what I was expecting. But the whole time they're talking, Regine is being honest. She's literally giving him information. I need y'all to really listen and catch what I'm saying in the spirit. She's giving him information that otherwise, if it was someone else, she would never do that to. And she was finding herself being honest, because he asked her if she's ever been, I think he said, to France or something like that. And Regine, she's like, she always lies about the things she's done, places she done been, to make herself sound big. But when he asked her that, she told the truth and said no. Not only did she do that, she even told him, she said, you can know anything you want about me. She was like, at this point, you can even call me Nene, which is something she tried to get rid of, because that was her past. That's what they called her. She grew up, didn't have the best of everything in the projects. So she tried to leave that life behind her. But she's now telling this man she had no intentions of liking. You can call me Nene. And she's being honest, which is something she could never do. So after she left there, she went home and she was sitting there talking to Khadijah. And she was telling Khadijah, listen, this guy is different. I don't know what it is. I think I'm in love. I never felt this before. I need somebody to be with me and hear what I'm saying. And she said, I've never felt this before, and she was like, girl, I was being honest. And she was telling her everything that was happening. And Khadijah was like, oh yeah, you must be in love, because you never do that. And she said, girl, I even told the man to call me Nene. And that right there convinced Khadijah 100%. So, she ended up looking at, the invoice okay, of the money that the guy said he had available for her to throw this huge party or whatever. When she looked at the invoice, because keep in mind, she's so focused on him now, she hadn't even paid attention to any of that. So when she finally looks at the invoice, she was like, this dude broke. And we all know, Regine, if you broke, she ain't getting ready to deal with you. But she was like, I don't know. And she went to Khadijah and she's like, look, I don't think I could do this because he broke, he's this. But in her heart, deeply within her heart, within her spirit, she knew that this was the man for her. I need y'all to listen and hear what I'm saying to you. So Khadijah is basically encouraging her, listen, you, Regine, you can do this. You can pull this off. And then she began to glow. Yes, I can. I can do the hors d'oeuvres myself, and I can do this, and I can do that. So basically, at the end of the episode, they was at the party, okay? And she had pulled everything off, and it looks like that man had paid so much money to throw this party. And so Maxine was trying to get the last glass of wine, and what happened was the wine was getting ready to go on the man, but instead Regine saw it and she jumped in front of it, just like how a bullet would if you jump in to save somebody's life. She jumped in front of the spilled wine, and the wine got all over her beige dress. And just so it wouldn't hit the man, I need y'all to catch this, because she was protecting him from getting hit because it was his party. Keep in mind, she just met this dude. She's known of him, but she's just met him. And so he said, wow, you ruined that dress just for me. I need y'all to understand something. You're not going to have to pretend and put on airs and a false face for who God truly has for you. You're not going to have to pretend to have it all together for the spouse that God has for you. You're not going to have to go over and beyond and put in all the extras for the spouse that God has for you. Why? Because they're going to love you exactly the way that you are. And you're going to find that there are things that you felt you couldn't do before, you didn't want to do before. You're going to begin doing, and you're going to enjoy doing it. You're going to be able to feel that in the bottom of your belly and in your spirit that I know what I know. Because here is the thing. Many of us right now are struggling. And, we're like, we want to give up, maybe I didn't hear God right, or maybe this, that, and the third, because it's not happening the way you intended for it to happen. But you have to stand on what God has told you. If God said that the sky is orange and it still look blue out there, trust me when I tell you, eventually that sky is going to turn orange. We have to have that childlike faith to believe, because trust you me, the same way you're going to begin to do things, your spouse, this is why you're separated. This is why God is doing what he's doing, because he's doing the same thing in your spouse. Your spouse is not going to have to pretend anymore. They're not going to have to be somebody that they're not. Your spouse is going to begin to feel things, if they have not already, within them. Like, I can't explain it. I just want to be truthful. I just want to tell her everything. Y'all, let me tell you something. When God is in the midst, whatever he's doing for you, he's doing with your spouse as well. So you need to allow God time to work, not just on your behalf, but on your spouse's behalf too. Stay encouraged. I love each and every one of you, but understand this, you're not going to have to pretend anymore. You have a good day.